Hey, it's Alan Tudyk. You are listening to the Magic Our Way podcast with Kevin, Danny, Eli, and Rachel.
Jumbo, everyone.
Harambe.
And welcome to another edition of
the Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
Magic Our Way.
The Magic Our Way podcast.
They are truly magical and whatnot.
Asante Sana, everyone. You're listening to the Magic Our Way podcast from New Orleans, Louisiana. And on this show, we invite you to feel the libations.
Feel it, feel it.
We are artistic buffs and not artistic cream puffs. This is a show in which every opinion is welcome. MagicOurWay.com is where you can find us. For this show, we discuss a bunch of news. Walt Disney World openings and closings, and Dark Universe at Universal Epic Universe, and much more. And look, this isn't your typical polished practice Pixie Dust and Disney podcast. No way. We are not in the parks every day letting you know about the new chicken parm sandwich, which debuted recently at Pinocchio Village House.
That's right, Kev. We're just here to drink, talk some Disney, and I think we're supposed to be hanging a copy of the Ten Commandments somewhere in the studio now.
I think so, yeah.
There's a decree or something here.
Law.
I don't have any wall space for this. I don't know how we're going to pull it off, but other than that, we're just going to talk some Disney.
Like, wow. And all you listeners have the easy part. You got to do is just listen up to what we think up while we drink up. And is that all this new Ten Commandments thing that's happening?
Thou shalt not go to Universal.
Oh, boy. That's broken.
Well, then thou shalt not make a land of monsters.
Thou shalt not pique our interest.
My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
I'll be like.
And I'm Rachel.
And look, the easiest way to support us is leave a rating and a review on Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, as well as turn on those notifications so you never miss an episode of the Magic Our Way podcast. So enough of our jibber jabber. Let's go discuss the latest in theme park news. Welcome to The Queue, the segment in which we get to discuss all the news and happenings in the world of Disney today. And maybe for this particular segment, we're talking about theme parks in general, because we'll also be getting into some Dark Universe and whatnot with the Universal Epic Universe, because something just dropped. But first, we're going to concentrate on the Disney side of things, and we're going to discuss all the closures and the openings and the hope that the Disney fan universe is happening. And I'm presenting this in a group. First, I'm going to present all the closures that are coming to get our thoughts on it. And then I'll talk about the stuff that's supposed to be coming online, which all of this you can book with Rachel to get either a last ride on something. Well, some of them are already too late, or get your first experience on something else that's coming down the pipe. So I present these as both the closing first and then the opening and the hope stuff, just to see how they're balancing out things in the years to come.
Okay.
Because all of this together with Disney, I feel like, is of course balancing out Epic Universe, which is set to open early 2025, which you can also book a trip with Rachel as well. So
I just booked mine.
Did you? You already booked it?
Kind of. I mean, I don't know when it's opening yet. So
yes, I was wondering, like, I mean, did you do it later in the year? Because we want to book for next year, but we just don't know when.
There was they're calling it like book early, save more promotion, or they do it often. Actually, it's not a new promotion for Universal, but they do like a room discount if you book way ahead. And so I booked our April vacation week, which is the last week of April. It goes into May, actually, the very beginning of May. And I have Royal Pacific, so we'll have the
I love
Unlimited Express.
Lovely.
It wasn't terrible. It was $400 a night.
That's not bad at all.
Including Unlimited Express for 4 people.
That's not bad at all.
That's not bad.
That
so
is awesome.
Really good. And that's a great hotel, too.
How much did you have to put down?
one night.
Just one night?
Yeah, so it was like 400 and whatever the taxes were, like $50 or something.
That ain't bad.
That ain't bad at all,
man. I might, maybe August. I might just book something just to have it.
Yeah, just to have it. And then when they, I figure like when they announce dates, prices might go up or who knows. So I just figured I would lock something in now. And then if it doesn't open in time for that week, we can always cancel. So.
Okay.
You can always push it back, I guess, though, right?
We could push it back to summer. Yeah. That April is kind of like my last opportunity before the end of school to travel.
Right. All the stuff. That makes sense. That
Fair
makes
enough.
sense. Oh.
All right.
Well, you could do all that through Rachel for sure. So get
Yes.
on that. But let's concentrate on Walt Disney World because that's where a lot of this news is happening. This is where the Disney fan universe has been a buzz within the past week. So a couple of closures within the past couple of weeks since we last recorded. First of all, this one's near and dear to me and Eli's heart for sure. We already knew this was coming, but back in mid-June, which is only maybe a week or two away from this recording, it was definitely confirmed that the Frontierland Shooting Arcade would close today on the day that we're recording the show on Sunday, June 23rd. Today, as we're recording this, the Frontierland Shooting Arcade is experiencing its last few hours in operation before it shutters forever on June 24th tomorrow.
Ever.
Come on, buy it, Kevin. Put it in your backyard.
Oh, I'd love to have that.
Come
It'd be so
on,
awesome.
Kevin.
Kevin, are you secretly in Florida getting ready to chain yourself to it?
I wish.
We'll go there together, Kevin.
I'll be the only one. Me and Eli will be the only one.
Like, don't you touch this.
Yeah, very, very sad, man. Tomorrow, the Ghost Rider in the Sky will be making its final run across the back wall. The man digging a grave will no longer be bothered by anyone shooting a shovel. The train cars can finally make the trek across without anyone shooting them down.
Oh,
Man.
And the birds can finally peacefully rest on the Boot Hill sign without being shot at on a daily basis. It is closing, and
I
it'll
think
be.
you just wrote the eulogy. For
I
this
think so.
I
Kevin.
did.
I'm sad now again.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Thank you for that.
I had to bring that on because I knew when we're recording, it was like, this is it. This today in Orlando, this is it.
It's
And they're an
sad.
hour ahead too. So it's maybe it's already closed. It's 9:09 over there.
Yeah, that's a good
Damn,
point.
that's right.
Yeah, look, I get if you want to make the argument that there weren't that many kids looking to play this thing, but I think most people didn't even realize it was even there.
Nope.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
every kid I've ever seen play it has fun, and you kind of have to tear them away from there. Like, okay, come on, we got to get to the next thing. They seem to have a lot of fun, and again, there's just so many other places in Disney that you could have put this lounge. Stitch's Great Escape is my number one listing.
Oh hell, man! That
Yeah.
stage that's just sitting there,
Mm-hmm.
barely used.
I agree. There's so many other places. I don't understand why take away something like this, but yeah, this sucks, and it further devalues Frontierland.
And just
Absolutely.
for listeners that haven't heard or maybe living under a rock, there's no reason why. Nothing bad with living under a rock, but it's being replaced by Disney Vacation Club Lounge, which is a perk similar to what they have at the Imagination Pavilion in Epcot.
All that fancy dancing.
So Kurt posted this in the group, and he said I could still experience the area, but like I told him, I was like, I won't be able to pew anything fakely, but and have fun with it.
But you will have all the Coke and potato
And
chips you can
snack and processed
Yes.
food.
yeah,
Exactly.
you'll still be shooting or just be out of a different thing. So
Mm.
Charging stations. Don't forget the charging.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
But see, I always bring my own charging batteries, so it's like I hardly ever use those.
You think ahead.
I like to be mobile. That's just me.
fair enough.
But anyway, very, very sad.
I do
Yes.
really like the location for a DVC lounge. The one in Epcot, like I'm not like over there all the time. And so you have to go like all the way over to the Imagination Pavilion. And then especially when everything was like shut down in the middle there, you had to go like all the way around.
Oh, true. Yeah. I mean, it's still kind of central-ish, but it is off to the side, hard to get to. I could see that.
Well, especially with the closures and the middle
Right,
was all
right,
closed.
right.
You had to like do a big loop. That was kind of a bummer.
I find what Rachel says very interesting because that is a good point because it is prime real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if
Waterfront real estate.
yes, but what if like that Cinderella Castle suite that they really don't do anything with ever since A Year of a Million Dreams or whatever it was? What if they converted that into a Disney lounge?
Oh my goodness. They would sell so much DVC.
Yeah, I was gonna say like I would be so tempted to buy DVC just so I could go hang out in the castle and charge my
That
phone.
would be cool.
Yeah.
That makes more sense, actually.
That first thing I thought when you brought that up was like, oh, that'd be great to have a shooting gallery from top to castle. And then you can AR shoot things
Princess
outside the
Sniper.
park.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
Oh, man.
Sniper, no sniping.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could shoot the Haunted Mansion and lightning sparks.
Bibbity boppity caliber.
Yeah,
that's
right.
nice.
Yeah,
I like that.
I don't know. Anyway, yeah, that'd be pretty awesome location actually. But
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
anyway, so there's that closure, and then before that closure, before Frontierland Shooting Arcade closed, Test Track 2.0 shuttered its doors for a lengthy reimagining on June 17th, 2024.
Good riddance.
Yeah, I need that.
There we go.
Yeah.
I couldn't have been happier about this one.
Yep. And as we have reported at the beginning of the year, when we first did the overviews of all things that are coming down the pipe, the new attraction will embody a spirit of optimism, harking back to World of Motion, which was the opening day attraction that occupied that space.
Music to my ears.
So I wonder if it's going to be fun to be free again.
I hope it is. Let's just see what they do. I've got my figure. It's got to be better than what Test Track 2.0 was. It's got to be better.
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with that. And props to GM for being longtime sponsor. I mean, yes. Chevrolet took over, and that's when we got Test Track 2.0. We're not going to hold that against you yet, Chevrolet. Let's see what you do with the new attraction. Because apparently, if you haven't heard, Chevrolet is sponsoring the new attraction coming to the pipe.
Well, look at it like this. If they hadn't made this Test Track 2.0, their original vision was to make this into a Tron attraction, right? And so if that would have happened, maybe we don't get Tron.
This is true. This is very true.
The butterfly effect.
This is tricky.
So that one's done.
Okay.
That one's gone.
Good news.
And just FYI, in case you're curious, Test Track 2.0 opened in 2012 when they switched sponsors. So this was 12 years ago. And so now it's closing down, and Lord knows what we're going to get. But there's no opening date set, so we have no idea when that space is reopening. And they're losing that, right?
Okay.
And also, too, even though this is still in the rumor stage, is most likely going to happen and happen soon, is Big Thunder Mountain closing.
I'm happy about this as well. I mean, I'm not happy about it for the people who are visiting during the summer, but I think that thing needed a little TLC.
So and
hopefully enhancements as well.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And before I get into that, though, just to let people know, because yes, it's rumor, but the Disney fan universe did go abuzz when they discovered that a notice of commencement permit was filed for work at Big Thunder Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
So they named the contractor, and they have all the timeline as far as when the construction is going to happen. So this is pretty much good to go and imminent. It's just a matter, I think, and you probably think about this, once Tiana gets her feet up and running, then, I mean, they're not going to close both at the same time.
No.
So once she gets her feet up and running, then Big Thunder Mountain's going to go down for this refurb, which is supposed to be going a little longer than a year, is what they said.
Ooh.
So that's what I was wondering, a good turn to you guys, what you think. And nothing's been said. We may find out at D23 in August, but is this ride going through generic refurbishment? Is the ride going to be themed to IP? Is this going to be a big refurbishment to incorporate the whole Big Thunder Mountain project that they're saying? What do y'all think about this?
Well, that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? What they're going to do at Frontierland, because they are whittling away at it. And where does Tiana fit in that? And so if they're reimagining Frontierland, it's possible. I don't think they will. I think Big Thunder Mountain is its own entity, and they'll just give us a version closer to what we have in Disneyland.
Oh, with the explosives and stuff, which would be awesome, actually.
Which I think would be great, and I think that would work. It just depends on how they're going to try and reconfigure Frontierland and the Beyond Big Thunder Mountain area.
Yeah, because I figure for the Beyond stuff, they have to build some kind of space to get to Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure they have to some landscaping, maybe under the track type stuff.
I'm not even sure what you would put in Big Thunder Mountain that would really make any sense.
IP wise,
yeah.
I know we joked about it in the group because I think it was a birthday. Harry or Kirk, somebody posted it.
It was Tiana again, wasn't it?
Yeah,
More Tiana.
Yeah, all the Tiana.
Oh man,
I don't know what you'd put in there.
That's would be relevant without any sort of change.
Other than the only thing I think of Wild West is that Toy Story 2 scene where they're play acting in the Wild West.
Oh yeah.
Which I like that opening scene. That was a cool opening scene.
You're not going to turn it into Monument Valley with like cars or anything. You're not going to do that. I mean, so what? I can't think of anything else that would go over there without really doing some massive.
Yeah, I think they're just doing regular maintenance.
Yeah,
it makes sense.
Which is cool. I'm glad.
And it hasn't closed down in a while because they've needed it to anchor that part of the park.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's just like, okay, Tiana's is open now. We can let this one take a breath.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, Big Thunder needs a break.
I agree with that.
Big Thunder, she needs a holiday.
Yeah.
She's been working hard since Tiana's been down.
She needs a little oil.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It's a little grease. So she's like the Tin Man.
Right. Yeah. It's a little rickety, but still, take the time out.
Still a great coaster.
Yes.
Okay. So we're good with this.
Oh, very good.
We might get some news in D23. We have no idea.
I don't think I'm booking anything until 2025 at the rate we're going.
Well, before we get in this question, let me tell you about the stuff that's opening. Okay.
Okay.
There's more.
Yeah, there's more. So Tiana's Bayou Venture, of course, I said was opening, right? It's supposed to come online on 28th of June, barring any Rocket Rods level issues. Remember Disneyland's Rocket Rods when they opened? It was like all big kind of a mess. So that's supposed to come online, and it should continue to remain in operation for the rest of 2024 and into the future. Okay. So it gives, like I said, Big Thunder a little chance to rest.
Okay.
It has also been announced that the new Country Bear Jamboree show will officially open on July 17th, 2024, according to Disney's website.
Yeah.
That's coming online.
I'm trepidatious about this.
Yeah.
But okay.
Yeah, I am too.
Communicore Hall in Epcot opened recently.
Yes, it looks fine.
What's that? Yeah, you were
That's the
showing me
meet and
pictures.
greet and
Like
Stage.
there's a hall.
The stage,
Rachel,
yeah.
do you have a good way of describe? How would you describe this to your customers? If not to put you in a spot, but if they're curious, should I make a trip?
Communicore?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, listen, I value my customers, so I'm not going to steer them wrong. You should not plan a trip to go see Communicore.
Oh wow! Yes.
what?
I mean, it's nice that part of the park is open again. You can navigate over that way a lot easier. Yeah, it has a meet and greet that, like, it used to have a meet and greet, right? So it's just like a replacement of what used to be there, the Mickey and Friends. I forget exactly what they called that. It's like Meet Mickey and Pals or something like
Yeah,
that.
something like that. Mickey and Friends sounds like a gift shop.
The Encanto show, I've heard, is fun, but nothing to like book a trip for.
No.
And then that space is open. It's going to be a really good space for the festivals. I think right now it's not really being used for a whole lot because there isn't a festival going on right now, which is like wild. I don't think since the pandemic we've really had more than just a couple of weeks where Epcot hasn't had a festival. So a lot of the like vloggers, you know, the people who have YouTube channels, they're calling it Naked Epcot. They're like, she's naked. It has no festival. So yeah, the new space looks cool, and I think it's going to be great for the festivals. And the Encanto show is a nice addition. Gives especially families something else to do during the day. And the Communicore Hall area seems like it's going to be a good flex space for Disney to use for a lot of different things, kind of like the Odyssey is as well. But yeah, I don't think you ought to book your trip for that.
No.
And so, as far as openings, that's all I know in the recent future that's coming down the pipe.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other than, I mean, of course, yeah, we have the cruise ships and whatnot. But just the thing to note about all of this is a lot of this discussion started happening when recently, as of recording the show on the 23rd, the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District, which, if you don't know, was the body that replaced the Reedy Creek Improvement District.
Mm-hmm.
They unanimously voted to give final approval for a major development agreement with Walt Disney Parks and Resorts, backing the company's plans to spend up to $17 billion in development projects over the next 10 to 20 years.
Okay.
And that's in Florida. It's definitely Florida because they're the ones that gave the okay. So that's what Disney's planning to do. So everybody's all a buzz. And so I figure, you know, let's look at the stuff that they're opening and look at the stuff that they're closing. Are you booking a trip? Is there any of these closures that are imminent enough for you to be like, wait?
No. I mean, look, I'm not planning on going anywhere until 2025
Okay.
at the rate we're going, because there's nothing there that's calling me in, and I'm just going to want to absorb Epic Universe over the course of a week. And I might even, you know, go over to Disney for a day or two, which is so odd to say that you're
that's
doing
new.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really feels wrong to say, but that's exactly what I'm thinking is going to end up happening, because this is just not enough to go back to see.
Yeah. I would agree with that. It's like if my daughter wasn't marching in Main Street, I wouldn't have gone this past May.
Right.
That's the only reason why I went down there. Thankfully, I did. I got to go shoot the pew pew a couple more times before it disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing about these closures. I didn't realize it was happening so abruptly. Like, I didn't know Test Track was going to close until I got back. I was like, oh, well, damn, maybe I should have written it just to remember it.
That's how it always happens,
You know?
though. Yeah, nothing worth remembering.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say, why you torture
The
yourself?
rumor floats around there. It's around for a while, and then finally they say, hey, it's closing, and it's happening in about 2 weeks. That's generally how it works,
Right
isn't it?
now.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she wasn't doing that, then I probably wouldn't have booked a trip this year. I would have waited till next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I don't have any problem with going. Like, we've talked about going and just doing like kind of like a podcast trip. I don't have any problem doing that, but it's not going to be an all out kind of trip.
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
saving my resources for 2025.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah.
By you, E?
I'm not pumped about any of that. I mean, let's face it. If you just said the biggest thing they have open right now is a place where you could go for a reception hall. Well, we got plenty of that around here. I mean, that doesn't do anything for me. Plus, I'm not getting married anytime soon, so I'm not too worried about that. They took away the shooting gallery, so where's the fun for me there?
Hey, you and Eliza Dushku, nothing?
I mean, I'm still trying to talk to her about that. I was secret.
Oh,
Eliza Dushku.
yeah.
We had a whole list.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, you guys are invited. She says, yeah.
Okay,
no,
fair.
no
Yeah,
problem.
I'll be there.
Absolutely.
I'll be there.
But yeah, I'm with you guys in that. I would rather save up the money that I had for something new than to just spend it on something that I've already seen and then not really have anything fun to really report. I mean, it would have been nice to have caught some of those things before they ended, just for nostalgia purposes.
Sure.
Yeah.
So we can comment on it effectively, yeah.
Yeah, but we've written these things to death. I mean, Test Track 2.0, well, goodbye, take care of yourself, be good.
Yeah, I
know?
guess there's only so many times I could build the ugliest car ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not even see it
That's
in the
always nice.
mirror
Yeah.
or anything.
Well, so Rachel, this question I know is tough for you because you're a travel agent. So we want people to book. I want you guys to
Yeah.
book. But
Yes.
Yeah.
approach it however you want. What do you think about like the closures and the openings? Would you want to go now if you had the TA hat off and you were just Joe consumer or Jane consumer?
Well, I mean, we're not going this summer.
Says it all.
I'm not going at all, actually. I'm going to do a cruise. So
Oh, now that's a better idea.
That is a
Yeah.
better idea.
it's actually been a while since we've done a Disney cruise. So we're excited about that. We're going to be on the Magic. That's the oldest.
Oh, nice
the oldest
boat.
ship.
Nice.
Yeah. But we've not sailed on the Magic before, so that'll be cool. And we're going to go to Lighthouse Point, which is getting like mixed reviews. I guess I would say,
We
but
might have
like,
to do a show on this for you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes.
we should do a cruise show
Yeah.
coming up here because I could talk a little bit about my cruise on the Wish recently too. But yeah, so Lighthouse Point, I think people overall really like the island and they say it's like an amazing beach, but then there's a couple of complaints. So we'll just kind of tease that. We'll do a Lighthouse Point.
Lightning lane out. I was pointing.
The lightning lane.
The lightning lane take me from the ship to the shore.
Yeah, you need it. But yeah, we'll do a show on that coming
Okay.
up soon. But that's what we're doing with our vacation money.
That's a great alternative, Rachel.
An
All you
alternative.
Mohicans, instead of going to the parks, feel free to book a cruise through
Yeah.
Rachel.
Yeah, feel free to book a cruise.
I like that
Buy
idea.
your time until next year when a lot of things pop off.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I'm sure I'm setting myself up to be disappointed, but hopefully not. I really think that they're going to come into D23 this year with like a ton of cool announcements.
I
And we're
agree.
gonna be like super pumped for what's coming. And, I think we're just in like the end of this pandemic lull and they're going to really start turning stuff on here. I think they have to. So
They have
I'm
to.
hopeful.
Oh, they got to.
I'm
Oh.
hopeful that this August we'll have so much to talk about and so much to look forward to. I do think Tiana's looks great. I've now watched multiple ride through videos. I thought about booking a quick weekend just to ride it this summer, but ultimately I think I can wait. But I am really looking forward to riding it. I think it looks really fun.
And that's what we've talked about doing, is just booking a quick little weekend over there.
yeah.
Just to kind of check it out and see what we think close up. Because,
And we'll probably wait till they get all the kinks out.
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
That's something you're not going to know for sure until you ride it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect segue talking about, all the cool stuff coming along and that Disney has to answer for this. So
Exactly. And the reason why I'm bringing about all this, because on the other side of the park, down I-4, we have this opening. We are talking about Dark Universe, guys. On the competition side of things, Universal dropped 2 videos for Dark Universe World at Universal Epic Universe, which is, if you have been living on
So
a
much
rock.
universe.
Yeah, so many Universal and Epics and stuff. It's their newest park coming online in early 2025. We haven't an exact date yet, but it seems like that date keeps pushing back. But we got 2 videos. We got the official fly-through video, which they've been doing for each one of their worlds that have been released with more details. And we have a more in-depth video with members of Universal Creative and Universal Leadership telling us about the land. Now, I know this area has been of special interest to Danny as the world he is most interested in seeing in
Oh,
Epic
yeah.
Universe. Is that right?
yes,
And man, this video, everybody's watched it, right? Can I say this?
Mhm.
Everybody's
Yeah.
watched it?
Yes.
Rachel,
Several times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it.
Man, this video did not disappoint. Good Lord, this place looks like it seems going to be freaking awesome.
I felt like it was going to be the jewel of Epic Universe from the beginning when it was announced. And I thought it was just because I have an affinity for the Universal monsters and for all things horror related over at Universal Studios. And this surpassed what I thought I was going to see.
I'm freaking excited about it.
Yes.
I text this to y'all. It's like, y'all got to see this. They just dropped it today.
Mhm.
It's like, look at this stuff. Eli, what do you think about when you saw the video?
Oh man, I gotta tell you, I'm pumped about that because the way that they're presenting it looks great. And if that, how would you say that animation concept art, if that's actually what they're sticking to, which I know you guys have told me that they are, well then that's a home run.
All you got to do is look at any video of what they're building, and that's what they're building.
Yeah, see, it is nice to say that, right? If you make a concept of something, then they're like, this is what you're gonna get. Well, I have high hopes for that. And if you're gonna make it, then wow, my hopes just stay high. That's beautiful, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, looking forward to that. Yes,
Awesome.
they did a really good job selling it.
Yeah, Rachel, what you think?
Are you ready? I'm gonna be negative.
Whoa!
Right now.
No, it's great.
Get ready.
What is it? Opposite day?
Yeah, I know. Really? Well, no, it looks really cool. It looks really cool. That is not my speed.
You've said this. You have said. I remember you saying that when we talked about it. Yeah.
Is it the scariness?
Yeah, it's the scariness. I
Okay.
don't know. I don't like when theme park, like the Halloween Horror Nights, like that is the exact opposite of what I want at a theme park.
Yes, indeed.
And that's fine. And I understand that other people really love it. And I think that's cool. It's just not what I really love. And so to me, this video made me feel like this is going to be Halloween Horror Nights, but light, not as intense, but all year round. And I think there's totally a market for that. And I'm excited to book it for people, but I will not be racing to this land. I will definitely check it out. Why would I not? It looks cool. I listened to the details about the new attraction, the state-of-the-art attraction I can't remember what it's called now.
It's Monsters Unleashed.
Monsters
Yeah.
Unleashed.
Monsters Unleashed.
Unchained.
Yeah.
Unchained.
Oh, Monsters Unchained. I'm sorry,
It
the
was Unleashed. It
Frankenstein.
started out as
Yeah.
Unleashed, but now it's Unchained. Yes.
I was like, that sounds so cool. I will probably never go on it.
Even if it's
Sounds so
pod-
cool.
Even if it's a podcast trip, and we're all there with you,
Dude.
supporting you.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, listen.
Four of
you
us could be in a car
you could
together.
probably scare me.
If us three New Orleanians can ride Tiana, you can ride Monsters Unchained.
That's fair. I mean, sure, I probably would do it. You know what? I'm going to actually blame Disney for this. When I was a kid, my parents took me on Alien Encounter.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
And that was one of the most terrifying and scarring experiences in my entire childhood, which was, says a lot that like I had a very nice childhood. I'm very thankful for that. But that ride was just awful. And so when they were talking about the things that you would experience in that Monsters, I was just like, oh man, that sounds like Alien Encounter. Like I can't do it.
Oh, when they were talking about how you could feel the monsters
Yeah.
breathing.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yes.
I thought exact same thing. It's like they took Alien Encounter and moved it. Now it's an emotion attraction ride.
Mm-hmm.
They applied everything that Disney was doing
Yeah.
in a stationary space and they put it on a moving attraction. I'm like, this is brilliant.
That's what you're supposed
Why
to
hasn't
do.
Disney done this when they did it?
Because they make
What the hell?
They making town halls and stuff.
Oh, come on.
I'm still not okay. It was 1998 and I'm not well.
Oh my god! Poor thing. I loved Alien Encounter.
I
Oh
did
my
too.
god!
Yeah, same.
I did
Freaking
too.
amazing.
I mean, I was also a 12-year-old girl, so
This is true.
I was not a target market for that
This
ride.
is true.
I just remember my parents like coming off of it with us, and they always tried to convince us that we liked things. I think they just thought that like, we'll just laugh it off, and the girls will decide they liked it. And I remember them trying to get like, hey, that was really cool, huh? My sister and I were like, absolutely not. That was awful.
Oh, really?
Absolutely not.
That's my negative moment for the day.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
no worries,
cool,
no
though.
worries.
It was cool. It's just not for me.
All right, let's get back to this because I have some interesting takeaways from the video that I'd like to bring forth and have your thoughts.
Okay.
And then there's a few facts that have been confirmed since the first time we talked about it. So I'm gonna go through this list and then we'll talk about everything in relation back to Disney. So
Sure.
the first interesting takeaway that got me is this one. When talking about having layers of intenseness and scariness in Dark Universe, one person said that, and I quote, "We kind of toe that line of being family friendly, but we can also be PG-13."
Yeah.
That line
That was
caught
cool.
me. I thought that was kind of interesting.
That to me is universal in a statement.
Yes,
Not
exactly.
just
Yes.
Darkmoor, not Dark Universe by itself, but that's universal.
Mhm. No, absolutely. And the fact that they said it plainly, I appreciate.
Oh,
Like, this is
100%.
it. This
Yeah.
is what we're looking at. This is great. And another takeaway that I have is that they're going to have their own bibbidi bobbidi boutique kind of place where people can get made up like a monster and then head out into the monster world.
I love this idea. I
do
hope
too.
it takes off because I wonder whether or not, because little girls are going to be wanting to sit down there and be made up to look like Frankenstein, right? Like,
But boys might.
boys are not really big on makeup, I don't think.
Oh, I mean, but if you could, I
Like
haven't
that
seen this-
pirates thing that they do, where you can be made up like a ghost and like that. You can always book
Oh,
that, right?
werewolf.
Yeah, because you can be a
Boys can be
werewolf,
werewolf,
a
yeah.
vampire.
I hope so. I'm just saying, you have a hard time getting into Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, but you always seem to be able to get into that. What's the name of that
Pirates
place?
League.
No, it's the Pirates League. That's what it's called.
Okay.
But they don't have it anymore. It's been gone for a little while.
Because it wasn't doing any business.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were just, I think it was Len Testa just reported that they just put in a permit for a long project for that space.
Oh, the pirate bar.
Something's going in there. Well, I thought the pirate bar was going into Tortuga Tavern, though.
Maybe. I never heard that confirmed one way or the other which location it was going in.
Because
I think we
I've
Yeah.
heard that too, but I never had it confirmed. Yeah.
they all share that kitchen with Pecos Bill, or what is now Pecos Bill, and probably going to become Tiana's or something else. But yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what it's going to be. But yeah, that Pirates League has been gone for a little bit now.
Okay.
Oh,
Well,
there
then,
you
yeah,
go.
that's my only concern about this. I hope it takes off. I think that it's a great idea. I just don't know that boys are going to really run in to do that. Adults, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Some people will. Some people definitely will. But is it more of a
I'd be
niche market?
curious. Yeah, you're right. I wonder if it is. I'd be curious myself.
Yeah.
Halloween things may change as well.
Oh,
That
sure.
might
Look,
might
people
help
like
up
me
it.
who are big time into this kind of stuff, goth people, yeah, they're going to love this kind of
Yeah.
thing. But is that more niche than every little girl wants to be a princess?
That's
Yeah.
fair. That's like me being a comic artist and people coming up to me saying, "Hey, why don't you dress in a costume or so when you go to a convention?" Like, well, I like it. I just not that far into it. So
Make
I
me
can
Teen
see
Wolf.
that.
Halloween's my favorite holiday, but I rarely do I ever dress up.
No, that's what I'm saying. I don't get too many costumes.
Unless my
but-
daughter has an idea for something that we all do.
Now, it would
Dress
be
up,
cool.
but it's just too damn expensive.
Part of it too, I wonder, is like, just especially adults, like, do people want to walk around Central Florida with a bunch of hot makeup on their face? Like,
Exactly.
That's a good point.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm thinking.
I don't want that.
I'm melting.
I would agree. I would 100% agree on this. I think that this might be overshooting it because in order to be into this kind of thing, you kind of have to be, like they said, PG-13.
Hmm.
So you have to be over the age of 13. Generally, those kind of people are not going to want to be made up all day.
Right. Well, speaking of silly things, another thing that Kate take away was Das Steakhouse, which I love.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
A
that
restaurant
sounds
called
great.
Das Steakhouse. Steak spelled Stake.
Mm-hmm.
And they mentioned that not only will they have steaks on steaks,
Mm-hmm.
basically, kebabs,
Clever.
but you might be scooped up by a vampire.
Scooped up?
That's what he said.
Yeah, what's
Scooped up by a vampire.
I thought it was like scoped out.
Scoped out. I heard scooped up, but
Okay.
either way, like vampires, according to Alicia Stella on her video, will be looking for people to join them at their table.
I don't like people picking me up while I eat, Kevin.
Yeah, I was gonna say scoped out and scooped up. That's two
Yeah.
different
It may be
actions.
I have no idea. I think something vampires. Something's going to happen in the restaurant.
I am
I
not
don't
paying. I'm not paying to be eating a meal.
That's
and
a
some-
table, chef's table. I don't want to sit
I'm
at.
gonna say I don't want no man with fangs scooping me up. Like that is just not cool.
Yeah,
Not
I love the
cool.
name. I love the name Das Steakhouse.
Yeah, that is a good name. That's a good gimmick.
It is a great gimmick,
it's-
yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
What do
I
they
like
serve
that.
at Das Steakhouse? Oh, kebabs. Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
Get you a steak. And the steak.
And the next takeaway, the Burning Blade, which we've talked about before, does have the burning windmill.
Yes.
So number one about the burning
cool.
windmill, which I love, it's a fun fact that
Yes.
they said that it will ignite in flames, but it'll have two types of fuel
Mm-hmm.
so that people can see it both during the day and the night.
That
Nice.
is insane. That is
Which is a
insane.
brilliant little detail. It's like, of
Yeah.
course, yeah, you need a different fuel to burn during the day because you can't see a blue flame
And
during the day.
I think we figured out that they were going to do it sporadically as opposed to it's constantly on fire.
Yeah.
Kind of like the dragon goes off over at Gringotts, I guess.
Which I love, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, dang. But I love the detail that they thought about
Sure.
daytime and nighttime viewing of the flames.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But not only is that going to happen, we knew that was going to happen, but the tavern is where the hounds hang out. The hounds are the monster hunters and
Right.
expected that they will regale
yeah,
us with the stories of monster hunting.
That sounds like fun.
I like that a lot.
Where you
I do.
enjoy your drinks or whatever else and you encounter these characters.
Well, it's like an adventurers club kind of setup.
It was what Galaxy's Edge was supposed to be, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
and we
geez.
mentioned this before.
Yeah.
And here they are taking that idea. And if they pull it off,
Good for them.
good for them, man.
Ooh-wee.
And we get to Monsters Unchained. And this is the quote that got me. And I quote, "We literally use every technology I could possibly think of. And
Yeah.
then we realized we needed to invent new technology. Imagine what could happen in a Monsters ride when there's a sense of touch. You'll literally be able to feel characters breathing." And to supplement this, Alicia Stella of Theme Park Stop on her video reports that it's rumored, but it's supposed to happen that when Dracula turns into bats, you can feel the bats fly through you and the ride vehicle.
Oh, I like that.
So visceral, they say visceral in the video.
Yeah, think about how the Imagineers at Disney must feel when they hear the creatives at Universal say, "We had a story we wanted to tell, and in order to make it come to life, we just had to invent new technology to make it happen." And they're sitting there like, "Damn." They get the blue sky things, and meanwhile, we have to figure out how to make these existing track layouts work. We got to make our villains non-threatening or non-existent. I mean, it's got to be a little bit frustrating when you hear something like this. It's like, yeah, we had a story we had to tell, and we needed to invent the technology to tell it, where these people have to constantly work within the constraints of what already exists.
Fighting executives.
I gotta think that as an Imagineer going like, "Dang it, that was my idea."
Yes.
What the heck?
Probably like, can I have that universal application again?
I mean, well, that's the thing, right? Is we know there've been, a few Imagineers that have crossed over to Universal
Yeah.
Creative. I mean, it's a job. It's
Yeah.
a job in the same type of industry, but it's with another company.
And
We
they
know they've
sound
done
so
it with-
proud of them, what they've done on that video. I mean,
Oh,
when you
geez,
listen to them
yeah.
talk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that's what I was going to say earlier, Kevin, is the technology line that you just said. That
Yeah.
sold me because that guy had confidence.
He
And it-
did.
And it wasn't like when we did the Bob Iger thing when he was like, well, we're making money and, stuff's coming down. It might be good. It may not be good. Just hold on tight and hope we do as well as Japan. No, this guy was like, hey, we're getting some technology. Everything you see, we put more on top of that. I was like, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you're right. Because like when Bob Iger talks, like, yeah, we're going to maximize our assets and put them out there and roll them out in a calculated approach. And
Yeah.
Universal's like, yeah, you're going to your pants.
That's what I'm right. It's like
We are going to give you something that you are going to viscerally react to, and you're going to see you ain't never seen before.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I don't know anything about forms, but I know a lot about wrestling. And if you go ahead and you look me dead in the eye on camera, you say, look, I'm coming for the belt. Then I'm like, watch out. That guy said it. So he must mean it. So, yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. I feel it.
Dude,
Like, yeah, let's
but
hear
what
it.
you just said is like, yeah, Universal, this is basically this whole presentation was Universal saying, we're coming for your belt. We're
coming.
better than you.
And hell's
Yeah.
coming for me.
Yeah.
All right, so to go along with that, there's a few more things that were confirmed now with the Universal Epic Universe Dark Universe. That's all universe.
Uh-huh.
Said. Number one, 6,500 lighting elements will be used throughout the land to portray all the lightning energy going towards Monsters Unchained.
I thought that was a brilliant concept that they're harnessing all this dark energy. That's so great.
If they pull that off, and the jury's still out because it hasn't opened yet, but if they pull that off, that land will just absolutely be amazing.
This does sound like a little bit like Pandora, though, that like nighttime is going to be the time to go.
I could see that.
I can see that.
But I don't think it's going to be as dependent as Pandora is. Yeah, obviously.
Well,
I
they
mean,
also are open a lot later usually. So
Yeah.
this is true. And they're also like with the flame on the windmill, they're thinking about daytime versus nighttime. So
Sure.
if there's a way to portray that energy also flowing through, regardless if it's sunlight or partly cloudy or nightfall, I'm thinking Universal Creative's thinking about this. Like, how do we still get that kinetic energy in the land of all this energy flowing towards Monsters Unchained?
Sure.
In the daytime.
And then we talked about the fog rooms and how this land is going to be kind of immersed in fog. So that also is going to play a part in it. And again, it'll look better at night, but the effects will be present. They will just be better at night. Whereas with Pandora, the effects are non-existent unless it's night.
It's true. It's true. And okay, so the next thing that's going to confirm is that the Curse of the Werewolf coaster is over 2 minutes long.
Ooh.
That's longer than trying.
That animatronic
It
of
is.
that werewolf looked amazing.
And there's supposed to be two.
Yes, and by the way, I think the animatronic we saw is going to be the one for Monsters Unchained.
Right.
I think like when you see that animatronic of the werewolf lurched in that barn over the track, kind of swiping down, it reminds you of the Yeti. 100%.
Oh,
And
yeah.
who didn't like see that and think to themselves, this is Disney saying, yeah, we're going to give you a better version.
Universal saying, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Universal,
Universal saying, we're going to give you a better version of that. And
That works.
Yes. And I bet you this one will work.
And they'll keep it working. That's the trick.
And they're putting two of those suckers in. Yeah. So we have that. And back at Monsters Unchained, the Frankenstein experiment ride will feature an organ shooting out flames in sync with the ride music.
Yeah, that sounds really cool because, I mean, that was one of the patents that we saw.
Mm-hmm.
We saw patents for a walking creature, and most surmised that it was Frankenstein, but there was somebody playing an organ, and it was unmistakably. I mean, if you're going to do a movie monster, it's got to be the Phantom.
Yeah, it's the Phantom. Yeah,
I love
what
the fact
saying.
that there's going to be so many animatronics on this.
And they did say in the video that the animatronics will be more advanced and just more than anything you've ever seen before.
I believe them.
It's like, oh, there's the gauntlet and the glove across the chest challenge
Thrown down.
Yeah, that's
right.
coming for the belt.
Yeah,
I mean,
they are.
I mean, that's like a Dusty Rhodes going for Ric Flair. Ric Flair had the belt back in the 80s.
Yep.
That's like, you don't know who's going to get it, but you got a pretty good idea. There's a bionic elbow.
They're
coming.
trying their best and they're doing it. Yeah. A couple other known facts now that we know of is that Monsters Unchained will have a height requirement of 48 inches, which is the same as Wizarding World of Harry Potter, that ride.
Yeah.
Forbidden Journey and stuff.
And the ride vehicle looks somewhat similar.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to be a
Koopa,
Kuko. Yeah.
Yeah. But the only difference is, and I was watching the videos, that they're not your side peripheral vision is not going to be obstructed like it is.
Correct.
Because they're not going to use that rotating dome theater.
Yes.
They're going to use, and I love this. They're kind of like what Disney's kind of doing, but they're also using their screens more for background to create that depth. And they're going to have more physical sets in the Monsters Unchained ride, which I'm like, oh, I love this.
That's figuring it out right there.
Yeah, they're taking it to a different level. So this is definitely looking to be awesome. And for Universal Parks fans, this is new to me. But if you're curious, the iconic Twisted Tater snack will be sold in the land.
What's a Twisted Tater snack?
Well,
I can
Rachel?
tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell us.
I love fried potatoes. Like they're probably my top. I mean, they're definitely my top 5 foods. Fried potatoes. It could be top 2. But the Twisted Tater is they cut a potato, like a whole potato, ribbon style. So
Okay.
it's on a stick, and they fry it, and so you kind of eat this like ribbon cut potato off of the stick. And they, because they fried it. And then they'll also like sprinkle like salt on top if you want that, or seasoned salt, or sometimes they put nacho cheese on it if you want that. Like they have different toppings. I have never had a Twisted Tater I thought was good, which is crazy because I love fried potatoes and they're really hard to mess up. But typically the ones that I have gotten have been undercooked. Like not
that's
enough.
not good.
Oh,
So it's still like a little bit raw, and then it's just greasy because it's not like cooked. And I've gotten them 3 times and I have never enjoyed it. But people say they love them. So I feel like maybe I've just had really bad luck.
Maybe. That's crazy.
But if you've gotten it 3 times, I mean, that's telling. I mean,
I know.
I
3
love fried
times.
potatoes too. And so if anybody's trying to picture this, you think your curly Q fries, but instead of just the strips, you get the entire potato as a curly Q.
potato.
So
Right.
it's discs that are connected, and then they flavor it however you want. But that's a shame. I mean, 3 times you've had it and it hasn't been great. That's,
I've never enjoyed it. Yeah.
I've never had it, but I was like, I mean, surely you can't go wrong with this.
I'm pretty sure the last time I got one, it was like really expensive for the fact that it was just a potato.
How much was it? I'm
I don't know. Like,
Aren't they like
Check it
$7.99 or something like that, or like $9.99 depending on where you get
I
it?
think it was close to $10.
Yeah, they have like the Mardi Gras Twisted Tater. They have other different taters that they do flavors.
The Twisted Tater in 2023 at Mardi Gras was $8.99. It was more this year. I can't remember exactly what it was, but and then if you wanted to add the cheddar sauce, that's another $2.50. So you're talking about you're talking about almost $12 with tax, definitely $12 on a single potato with some cheese on top. They were very expensive.
I like the fact they're serving brats at the windmill. That's what I love about that. And it's going to be a full bar.
Full bar,
Yeah.
brats. They're going to
My
have twisted
understanding
dogs.
of it is,
Yes,
and
absolutely.
that sounds absolutely amazing.
Plus storytellers,
Yeah. Well, that place, what do you want to say? Like bars everywhere. Like, remember we were talking about?
Well, that's Celestial Park.
Right.
There was bars everywhere. Here, like it might be a little bit more restricted, but
yeah,
still, all in all, this place sounds freaking amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
this
does.
is going to be amazing. This is the second to last world that they've released details on. The last one, of course, should be coming in the next 2 months.
Ministry of Magic.
Ministry of Magic. That's the key
That's
pin.
the one that I think we maybe know the least about.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I did have a question for all of y'all, because as I watched the video presentation, I couldn't help but wonder if Universal opening Dark Universe makes it more or less likely for Disney to do a Villain's Land.
Oh, did you do the Villain's Land?
Ooh.
Because it's conceivable that fans would look at that as an attempt by Disney to replicate what Universal did with their own version, and maybe Disney backs off if they can't do it, because that kind of happened when they were going to do Beastly Kingdom and Universal opened what was the name of that land? I mean, it doesn't exist anymore, but Mythos was a part of it, but they had the Dueling Dragons coaster.
Right.
Whatever it was, they did that, and then Disney was like, well, screw it. We're not going to do Beastly Kingdom now. They've pretty much already did it over there. We're going to do something different. So it makes me wonder
Maybe.
if they're going to back off, because they're going to be like, how are we going to do this? We can't get scary like this.
I was figuring that, I don't think they would do it, but I was thinking you were saying because of just like the trajectory they've been going with IPs and stuff, Disney that is, where they've been kind of keeping everything really light. So I just figured on that note, they won't even try to match the theme.
You know, I was thinking about that. I was like, well, they could, with all the criticism they get with no villains in the rides, they could say, hey, we're not doing it in the rides because we're putting all in this one land.
Mm-hmm.
Like a concentration camp.
Yeah, but oh, man.
That's
wow,
terrible.
wait.
That just popped in my head. It's like, why would you do that to the villains? That's horrible.
But hold up. A lot of the villains are already represented in the parks. Like, I mean, Ursula is clearly
That's true. She's in that ride. Yeah.
Ursula, Captain Hook, Gaston, they're all in Fantasyland. I mean, we can't have Dr. Facilier because of his connection to voodoo.
Wow.
Go figure. I mean, so maybe you get Jafar and Maleficent? Cool, I guess. I don't know. I mean, can Scar and Ursula even exist in the same world? Like,
wouldn't Scar eat Ursula?
Possibly. It's calamari, right?
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, we've said from the start, like, we like the idea of a villain's land. It's just hard to envision how you do it. Like a village, representative of every village you ever see in a Frankenstein movie, a Dracula movie. I mean, it all kind of makes sense that you'd have this town besieged by monsters. The Disney villains don't really operate together. They're not even in the same section of the world together.
Yeah.
How are they all having this one land together? It's something that we've kind of had a hard time wrapping our head around. And one day we said we would get around to envisioning what we think it could be like. But this makes me wonder, it's like, is it even worth it for them to do this? Because as well-loved as these classic villains are, they're just not on the level of Dracula, the Wolfman, Frankenstein. They're just not that iconic.
I know those guys, yeah.
That's true.
The only thing I could think that Disney could do better is that when they give us their villains, they can give us the actual villains. Like, I'm not sure I like the redesigned CGI look of all the monsters that we saw in the video.
Right. Okay.
Like, because these were clearly not the classic Universal monsters. And I understand the need to do it, to update it. I totally understand that, but I just feel like I'm watching kind of a cheap knockoff representation of these. I mean, my God, Dracula's jacket looked like it's something he took out of Derek Zoolander's closet. When I saw that, I was like, maybe it could have been a little more truer to the original. Whereas with Disney, they can give you Maleficent. They can give you the Queen of Hearts. They can give you Dr. Facilier if they wanted to, I suppose. So I don't know. I mean, that's the one critique I had. A little bit too much CGI represent. I would have liked it to be a little bit more truer to what these monsters look like, as opposed to these reimagined kind of versions
that
of
could
them.
be their Achilles heel, right? Where before it used to be like too many screens, and now it's like, too much CGI.
Yeah, it could be. It could be, because the one monster that I saw that I really liked the look of was the Wolfman. The reimagined Wolfman looked great.
I thought Frankenstein looked pretty good.
Yeah. Good.
I don't remember Frankenstein.
Yeah. No, he was
I'll have to look at him again,
present. He had like multiple stitches all over his chest.
He's been through a lot in all these years.
He's been through a lot going on.
Just a little bit.
He had a rough year.
I don't know. It's just that Boris Karloff design is just so iconic.
It's Frankenstein, by the way. Just,
Steve.
Frankenstein, yes.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm curious. What do y'all think? What do y'all think they'll back off? Do y'all think they're like, nah, screw it. We can do it. We can do it better.
I would hope that they would say we could do it better than you guys.
I don't think they can do better.
I know that's what I would hope. But
I think they need to find something and concentrate on and do that well.
They could do everything
and leave the evil thing alone.
Leave the evil thing alone
for now. For now, let them open Dark Universe, see how that goes, and then time will tell, and then they can advance and do something their own once they get around to thinking about it.
But then it gonna really look like copycats because now it'll be more established at that point.
True, but at the same time, it's like if Disney's giving you just the same kind of experience there, then you don't really have a reason to leave. Like if they give you at least a comparable version of Dark Universe in their parks, and you're just like, yeah, I'd love to go see Dark Universe. Yeah, but we got something here. It's just as good. It's like, oh, okay, I can live with that.
I mean, look, hey, Disney's getting rid of dinosaurs because I guess they feel like Jurassic World and
so passe.
Yeah, well, but Universal's doing the Velocicoaster. They've done the Jurassic Park ride. I mean, they might be saying to themselves, look, they've got it. People like it. They've got the IP that they can really hammer home with Jurassic Park. We don't really have that here, so screw the dinosaurs.
Yeah, no, I can see that because what did they have? Just a good dinosaur?
Good dinosaur. They had dinosaur, but they also had Ice Age. They could have worked with Ice Age.
Yeah. They could have. They need to. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I would have been fine. I did not want to see them throw in the white towel on dinosaurs. I hate the fact that they've done that, but it is what it is.
That's what they do. Yeah. To your point, Danny, Jurassic Park is much bigger than any of those things. I think as far as the universe. So I think as a mature company, it's like okay, you have to recognize that they're going to do some things that they do well because they have it and they can do it. We have to focus our energies on what we do well and just do it even better than before.
I agree with that. Is if you can't be better than be different then. That's what I think it really comes down to. But I'd like to hear Rachel's thoughts.
I think they could do it. I think that it was a pretty well-known, I don't know if fact is the right word, but well-heard rumor that they were going to be doing a Villain's Land prior to, I think it was September 11th. And then they trashed that idea. So, it's not like they haven't talked about that potential before. I don't know if they'll do I think they're going to announce something at D23.
Sure.
If they have already been planning a Villain's Land, I don't think this would stop them from continuing to put those plans in motion because they probably would have had pretty well-formed ideas at this point. Like it might be too late to roll back all of that.
And that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think they could do it. I think they could go about it in a different way. Like if they were doing Disney villains, it clearly would not be PG-13. It would appeal to a different crowd. So I think they still could do it.
I hope they take a swing at it. I do hope they take a swing at it. I got to admit, I'm just such a fan of that content that I would really like to see this. I don't know. I just think that everything with Disney is dollars and cents and so calculated. So I hope you're right. I hope they swing for the fences. I hope you're right, Eli, and that they take on the challenge as well. I just don't think they're going to be able to do justice to it. And if they can't do justice to it, then why do it?
Yeah, that's fair. But
I mean, if we can't have Dr. Facilier on Tiana's Bayou Adventure, how the hell can we have a whole Villain's Land? I just don't understand.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's funny. It's like my first thought was like, yeah, they should do something good for where like the villains are portrayed for those under 13 and they're okay with it. It's not something they have to be scared of. They welcome it. They want to go to that land and experience it.
Right.
But then at the same time, it's like if they do that, then they're just kowtowing to Universal and admitting that Universal does 13 and over better than we could ever do or are willing to do.
I think they've been admitting that though for a while now. I mean, Tiana's
but not directly.
Tiana's Bayou Adventure. You're taking a 50-foot drop, and they're like, "This is fun. This is fine." Frozen Ever After. No villains. It's all good. Everything's fine. Yeah. I don't know, but we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. So on that though, y'all, let's we'll end our discussion there. We're curious to know what you guys think, and we want you to get in touch with us to share your opinions on anything we've talked about. We're about to tell you how to do that in just a little bit. Yes, that's right. If you've listened to our show for a while, that jingle is in fact our spoiler warning jingle. And you may think to yourself, why are they playing that jingle when they already did the Inside Out 2 movie review on last week's show, number 529, available where you access podcasts? And I really do appreciate the listeners thinking like that. It's always promoting the Magic Our Way community. I love it. Anyway, if you at least listen to the intro, you will remember that we stated that even though Rachel wasn't on that week, she would present her thoughts in a brief segment on the next show. And here we are on the next show.
Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of time flying, about a week and a half has passed. And just to give you a little background of how things are going, Inside Out is doing very well at the box office.
Good news.
Good.
Yep. Domestically, it's staring down $98 billion domestically, and it's looking projected to go higher. And worldwide, it's projected to attain around the $600 billion level based upon numbers from a few days ago. So,
Well, joy to the movie.
there you go.
Go figure. You make a good movie, you do well at the box office.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you don't even have to check all the boxes.
But they did. But anyway, Rachel is back, which is why I play that spoiler warning, because we're going to get right to it. So, Rachel, I know you've watched the movie and you listened to last week's show where we discussed our thoughts.
I did.
What would you like to bring forth to the table about Inside Out 2?
I really loved it. I was glad you all said that you were like, oh, we're not going to need you to be super positive because we really liked it. I was like, oh, good. I'm glad that it'll get some positive feedback from our review initially. But yeah, it was a home run for me. Like, I know for you guys, maybe not so much home run status, but I really had nothing that I had a complaint about at all.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the storyline. I thought it was realistic. Like, this is something that really happens to kids a lot. My daughter is very involved in competitive sports, and she feels those types of emotions around performance and, what's going to happen if I don't make this team. And, she turns things like a fun camp into a tryout for herself all the time. And so I think that storyline just really resonated with her and resonated with our family. So I loved that piece of it. I thought it was funny when it needed to be.
Mhm.
Like for me, the sarcasm,
Yes.
I was like dying. That was so good. I loved at the end when like anxiety started getting worried that she wasn't going to make the team. And they're like, let's go sit down in your comfy chair and let's get you some tea. And like, what's something we can worry about right now? Let's worry about something right now that's important. And then she comes up with like the Spanish test or whatever. But anyway, I just thought that was like a really nice metaphor for how we can manage anxiety when it's starting to creep up. Like, remind ourselves to sit it down. It doesn't go away. It's still there, but there are ways that you can manage it and direct that anxiety into something productive. So I thought that was really well done, especially as a school teacher. I deal with kids who deal with anxiety all the time. And that is what we try to tell kids to do when we're coaching them through those moments is like, okay, like, we understand why you feel this way. It's natural to feel this way, but how can we take that anxiety and make it focus on something that moves you forward versus something that's just going to freeze you in this moment? I loved the new emotions. So fun. Nostalgia made me laugh.
Nostalgia is awesome. Yes.
I loved that. They were like, no, you need to have like 2 best friends' weddings. And that was funny. I like the way that they do the insides of the parents' heads. I always think that's funny too. They did that in the first one, but they did it again this time. Here's what I'm interested in though. When they go to the parents' heads, sadness, like the mom's sad character is always in the middle, like at the controls. And the dad's anger character is always in the middle at the controls. I thought that was interesting. Like, and they did that in the last one too. And they kept it consistent. So yeah, I'm just like, I would be interested to dive into what they're trying to say there. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I think it was just a clever, like Eli pointed to that when we did the first review of Inside Out, that was what was going on. I didn't even notice that. And I think that was just like a clever little way of being like, yeah, dads are always angry. Moms are always sad. I think it was just a clever little joke that they made.
Oh, that would have been kind of thought-provoking if there was a different emotion this time at the helm.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's
For the adult?
different. Yeah, for the adult. Yeah.
Stress.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be a good one. Like, yeah, the adult like have stress take over, like the kids have anxiety take over.
Oh yeah, that'd be easy. The house don't do. Oh God.
One thing that you guys didn't talk about that I at least felt while I was watching the movie was at the end, like during the like panic attack moment, when anxiety has like moved away from that tornado that she was in, and her and Joy are stepping back and seeing what's going on and realizing that they don't have any control and talking through like, you know, we both want to help her. We both want to keep her from feeling anything bad. And we can't. Like, we have to let her feel those things. I'm going to get a little sad here, Bill. I'm getting a little choked up. But as a parent, I feel that about my children. Like, I feel that anxiety about them. Like, I want to keep them from feeling negative things. And I want them to just have that sense of self that's like, I'm a good person. And so I try so hard to prevent anything negative from happening to them. And sometimes I act like that anxiety just by trying so hard to control a situation that I really have no control over. Anyway, so that really spoke, like the two of them coming to that realization really spoke to me about parenting too.
Yeah.
Like, you have to let kids feel things that are hard. And as much as you try not to, you can't avoid it ultimately. And so that was just a good reminder as well. Like, I was ugly crying.
Ugly crying.
I saw it. I brought my daughter with a bunch of her friends, but I sat like a couple rows behind them with my son and my mom. And my mom was also like emotional about it. And she just started like throwing tissues at me next to me. She's like, I can hear you. Here's the tissues.
Oh,
Oh man.
So,
that's so caring.
yes, it was nice. So that was it. I loved it. I thought it was a home run. It was the most fun I've had at a Disney movie in quite a while.
Agreed.
So,
Well, better than the first.
yes, I liked it better than the first, I think.
That is something. You see, like I agree with you. Like I thought it was a home run. I heard you say before that maybe we didn't think it was a home run. I thought it was a home run. I just didn't think it was like a grand slam, like say Moana or Coco or something like that. I kind of felt like it worked for what it was.
Yeah.
Oh, you know, we did do that on the last show, like, because we identified what would be like a home run, and Danny just rattled off a few of them. What are your thoughts about that, of where, as far as where this ranks in your upper echelon of Disney Pixar films? Like, is it better than Moana? Is it better than Coco or something like that?
Toy Story.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I was just going to say that. So I find it hard sometimes to compare Pixar movies to the Disney Animation Studios movies, because a lot of times the Disney Animation Studios movies are musicals, and it's just like a totally different thing to me. I would put this under Toy Story. Like, I think Toy Story is sort of the gold standard with Pixar.
The OG Toy Story, is that what you mean?
Yeah, OG Toy Story. Although I love Toy Story 3. Oh my God, when they all grab hands as they're going into the incinerator.
Oh, that was heartbreaking.
Like, so
Damn
good.
it, Pixar.
So I love Toy Story 3, but yeah, 1 and 3 are my faves. I would put this underneath both of those, but it's pretty high up there for me. It's up there with WALL-E for me.
Finding Nemo.
I like Finding Nemo, but it's not one of my favorites.
Oh wow.
Okay,
But
so
I like it.
definitely
I mean, I thought it was good. I mean, I like all of.
So this
I
will be
like
above Finding Nemo, it sounds like.
For me, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's
I'd have to ask Josh. He loves Finding Nemo. So
Maybe we'll do that as a
Oh.
show
but
one
he hasn't
day.
seen it yet.
We'll rank our
I'll
top 5 Pixar movies one day.
We should, yeah.
Yeah.
This will be nice.
We might need to do more than 5 because I bet you a lot of our 5 is going to overlap. But
Yeah.
it sounds like there's a
just
lot.
do them all. They haven't done a lot.
Or
Yeah.
sequel versus
There's
sequel.
some that we know are going to be at the bottom.
Yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, good dinosaur. We're looking at you.
Oh, dinosaur. Oh, well.
But yeah, 2 thumbs up. And I hope that there are some kids out there, especially maybe some athlete kids, that feel really validated by that movie.
Sure.
Even not, I mean, it's not just about athletics. It's about anything that you want to be a part of and you're just pushing yourself so hard. But I think for kids trying to make a sports team, it's a little bit easier of a comparison. And I know it spoke to my daughter a little bit, like, yeah, okay, maybe I don't need to like stress myself out about a fun camp or a clinic or a practice even.
Well, it's a promising start to the summer. I will say for Disney, because now with Wolverine and Deadpool coming up next, good or not good, that one's going to make a lot of
Yes,
money.
it is.
And I have a feeling it's
Yeah.
going to be good.
I have a feeling too.
I pray that it will be good.
I also thought the trailer for Moana 2 looked super fun.
I couldn't get a kind of a grasp on what the story was, but just seeing those characters back again, yes,
nice.
I'm sold. I'm going to be there seeing it.
I'm gonna probably see it, but I'll be honest, I don't remember the trailer much.
Lin-Manuel Miranda's coming back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's going to be
Gamora
great.
was back.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Where bacon and eggs.
That's true. Yeah.
The little hey action up
Right.
in there. That cheers
Yeah,
me
it
up.
looks good to me. So I was excited by that. I was like, all right, cool. And then Mufasa looks whatever.
Yeah.
That wasn't memorable for me either.
Yeah, that's enough prequels. Stop.
Yeah.
That's why I was happy that they at least made a sequel because it was too many prequels. I know I said
I mean,
that
it's
before.
cool they're going to have Beyonce, I guess, but
Yeah.
Yeah, well, just have a Beyonce lioness movie. I'd rather that shot.
I think we've already milked the Lion King for everything we could milk it for.
But the Lion Queen hasn't shown up yet, man.
oh.
Well, and I just hate that it's like they call it live action, but it's CGI.
Yeah, it's
not
CGI.
live
Yeah.
action.
Right.
Like,
No.
whatever. I don't know. Yeah, I don't love that. I did not enjoy the remake of The Lion King.
Yeah. It wasn't terrible, but it just reminded me of how much I love the original film, and that was just fine the way
Yeah.
it was.
Yes.
Well, thanks for your thoughts. Definitely awesome. And
Glad we all agreed on
We were
this
all
one.
positive.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're all very positive about this.
That's what, and look, we got some flack for being positive online
Oh,
recently.
we did?
Yes.
That's right.
I swear.
It can't make anybody happy.
No, you
No.
cannot.
But keep listening and liking and subscribing. We'll cheer you up one day, maybe.
Yes.
Well, y'all, we hope you enjoyed that discussion about Dark Universe and all the closings and openings over at Walt Disney World. Look, if you want to learn more about us, go to magicourway.com. There you'll find our social media links, past episodes, and more. Plus, if you want to get in touch with us to share your opinions on any of the things we have talked about, you can do so through the following ways. First, shoot us an email at show@magicourway.com or call or text us at 1-815-MOWEEKEND. That is 1-815-
Mo Weekend.
669-4226. And of course, we have a couple of people do things outside of the podcast. First of all, we got Eli, does things with comics. Eli, what you got?
Yes, sir. You guys can always visit my website, www.ivorycomics.com, where you see all the work that I've produced, Savages, Molly Be Damned, and Project Geisha. All books are over 48 pages, fully colored. The only ad form is for this podcast, so it's still more bang for your buck. Also on that website, you can find blogs and interviews, and of course, a link to the Magic Our Way podcast. So you never miss a beat, never miss an episode, you never miss a chance to hear about fried potatoes or where somebody went for a ride and what's going to happen at Universal, what could happen at Disney, as we hope in R.I.P. Shoot Gallery. But yes, as always, appreciate the support. www.ivorycomics.com. Thanks for that. On social media, Facebook, Eli H. Ivory is where you can find me there. As long as you're a real person, it's a pleasure to meet you. But if you are a bot, I don't need to greet you. And I'm not kidding. It was Mick Jagger last week, and this week is some other people's names. I don't know who they are. Yeah, it's just too much bots. Like, please, bots. I'm gonna have to start like investing in like some new Norton antivirus terrorist bot software or something like that. It's too much.
More bots.
That's
No
right.
more bots.
No more bots. Because I called Mick Jagger and said, man, thanks for making me a Facebook friend. He's like, who are you, mate?
He said,
I was like, exactly. Yeah.
Well, then, are you sure you're really talking to the real Eliza Dushku?
I hope so. I mean, we've been messing each other for a while. I really hope so.
I love you in true lies.
I love you, Buffy. I love you. Period. And also, as you go on Facebook, there's a Project Geisha fan page. So, yep, facebook.com/Project Geisha. Also on Instagram, EIV504 is where you'll find me there, posting up the hearts and the likes and all those good stories to hear about your glories. And of course, on X, I can be found at Hancock10166. So, yes, if you appreciate the madness, you're just bringing me the gladness. Thank you very much, Alicia. Please be real.
And if you want to book a vacation to Universal Epic Universe or the Walt Disney World Resort or anywhere in the world, you can do so through Rachel. Rachel, tell them how to do this.
Sure thing. I would be honored to help your travel group plan a fantastic vacation. I book Disney destinations that includes the cruises and the West Coast parks and the East Coast parks. I book cruise lines like Royal Caribbean, Virgin Voyages, Celebrity, and more. So you can reach out about cruises as well. All major hotel brands, and I book Universal vacations as well, as you might know. Maybe you want to go see Epic Universe when it opens in 2025, or maybe you're headed over to the West Coast like our friend Thomas Bro.
Oh,
Hey, Tommy.
West Side. Like, okay, so now
In the fantasy league, yeah.
we didn't talk about when that we booked for Disneyland. Now that, yes.
Yes, anytime. And Tommy is. Tommy's in the fantasy football leagues. Rachel helped him out. What'd you help him out with?
I helped him out with Universal. While we were talking about his trip, I alerted them that there was a buy one day, get one day free deal. And so he gave me a really nice shout out on the Magic Our Way Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Pleasure Island group. And so we got them 2 days for the price of one, and they added on an early entry morning at Super Nintendo, which I totally recommend.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're headed for a great trip this week, and we wish them the best and just send them a thank you for supporting this podcast and booking their trip with me.
Yeah, when you hear this show, he'll be there enjoying the traditional Universal Studios tram tour, as well as that version of the Super
Love
Nintendo
that
Land.
tram tour.
Yeah.
And guys, look, she's not the best in the business for nothing. She knows all the deals out there. Why buy? It's going to be the same price, except you get the benefit of all her knowledge.
That's right.
It's a no-brainer.
I sent some tips and a little planning packet, and just here if anything comes up or things happen while you're away and you need some advice. So I'm happy to give it and happy to help. And it is no extra cost to you to book your trips with me, and a little piece of your vacation comes back to support this podcast and this fan community. You can find me at Rachel, Rachel, at magicourway.com. You can also find me on social media at R Family Magic. That's the letter R and then Family Magic all smushed together into one word. And I also have a phone number. It is 978-432-WISH. And just let me know that you're a listener, and we'll make sure that your trip comes to help this fan community. And we thank you for that.
And guys, all trips book with Rachel. If you want, we will have you on the Magic Our Way podcast to talk about them.
Yeah.
Definitely.
All you got to do is send us an email and say, hey, I book with Rachel. I want to come on the podcast and discuss my trip.
Hint, Tommy, since your first trip out west. That's his first trip out west as a Walt Disney World fan.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
I would love to hear it.
Yeah.
That is the homeland right there.
It is.
The mecca of creativity and imagination. Every Disney fan should see Disneyland.
And it's easy on your feet, too.
Yo.
This is true. So if y'all want to access all the info we just mentioned, go to magicourway.com/about us. Also, if you want to elevate your support of the Magic Our Way podcast, go to patreon.com/magicourway. There you'll find 6 awesome tiers to support the show. And any way in which you can support the show is deeply appreciated. The easiest way to support us, and only costs a minute or so of your time, is to leave a rating and a review in Apple Podcasts and or wherever you access our show, whether it is YouTube, Spotify, Podbean, etc. Also, I want to thank you for being a loyal listener, and we always love hearing from our listeners. All opinions are always welcome in the Magic Our Way podcast, so make sure you get in touch with us today. So we say Kwaharini. My name is Kevin.
And I'm Danny.
Magic out.
All right. Nachos are on plates.
And yeah, bye.